Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about 7 different ways to create an invoice. So like the other training videos on creating records, you can click the plus sign and click invoice. That's one way, or you can press Control F7. If you are on the invoices list, you can click the new button. If you're on an actual invoice already, you can click the new button there. That's 4 ways. But I'd like to talk about 3 other ways to create an invoice. So first of all, let me mention that if you are selling services, non-tangible things like hourly billing or services or projects, then you can just go ahead and create an invoice. But if you are selling physical, tangible items, whether you stock them or not, then you actually don't want to do any of those 4 methods that I just showed you, because that will be skipping the important step of creating a sales order first. The reason we need to create a sales order first is if you only partially ship some of the items, maybe you ship 2 of the 3 of item X, or maybe you ship all of item X but don't ship any of item Y, then you want to be able to deliver an invoice for the items you have delivered, and you need a way to track the items you have not delivered, and then when you eventually deliver those, you can invoice that separately. So that's the purpose of a sales order, is to be able to track the ultimate overall delivery of all of the items on the order. And that may take more than one delivery to do that. That may take more than one invoice to do that. So you need to start, if you try to ship items on an invoice that do not have an order, if those items have a type of inventory, then it should prompt and tell you to start over and create a sales order first. So if I'm on a sales order, let's go ahead and just go to the sales orders list, or let me just press, I'm just going to press F6. And I can see here that I have some sales orders that are not yet invoiced, so I'm going to go to this first one here. So a very common way to create an invoice is to open the sales order, and when you're on the sales order, just click on the Create Invoice button. Now, if you click on that, that's fine. But if you tend to do the same things over and over again, you print the same type of invoice, the same type of picking slip, or the same type of sales order, then by clicking on this, you may want to click on the print button to print a picking ticket or a sales order. You may then want to click Create Invoice, and then you'll have to click on the print button to print the invoice. So another method, if you want to do that, that's fine, especially if you need to change, if every time you do something it's a little different. But if it's very repetitive, then another option is to come over here to the settings, and you notice there's 2 buttons down here, Create Invoice and Create POs. If I go to the settings and go to sales, if I say auto print sales order, then if I refresh this screen, then a new button will appear, Create Invoice and Print. In this case, it's going to automatically print whatever I would have printed by clicking the print button. That's going to save me 2 or 3 clicks. If I click on Auto Print Invoice, I could take this one off, then I'll still have to manually print the sales order, but it'll automatically print the invoice. If I do both, then in this case, by clicking on the Create Invoice and Print, it's going to pop up it's going to create the sales order, or create the invoice, and it's going to pop up to print sales order or whatever else I want to print. And then it's going to create the invoice, and automatically pop open the print for that one as well. And in the near future, these will automatically be saved, so you won't have to select them each time. So that is a very common way, or some common settings that you want to enable to make all of this, make all those clicks by clicking on the Create Invoice and Print. When the next version is released, you'll be able to click that button once and it will do all those clicks for you. So that's a great way to create invoices. Now, if you're delivering parts that are tangible parts, either shipping them out the door with someone like FedEx or UPS, or you're delivering them yourself, then another very common method, and probably even a better method than what I'm just shown, is to, let me close these right here. Once you have the order, then normally you're going to use the warehouse. The warehouse personnel are going to be on this shipping and receiving screen. And in another video, I'll explain more about how to process those parts through all the different phases that you set up. But if you are at the point where you're ready to deliver the parts on the to dispatch screen, then you're going to have an option to print a batch of invoices. And this first time I click on it, it's kind of slow. Okay. So again, I'm going to go into more detail on this, but if I had selected a driver and I had selected a dispatch number and I clicked on, now I need to select something. So let's say I select this order right here that has no invoice, and this one right here that has no invoice. If I click on dispatch selected, one of my options is to auto create related invoices for sales orders in this dispatch. So by doing that, I can just hold off on creating the invoices. In this case, I'm going to also create a manifest, a delivery manifest. In this case, I can hold off on creating invoices until I actually have verified that they're going out the door, that everything has been picked. So I only invoice for what I've picked in this case. So I'll click print and update status. And there's my first invoice, my second invoice, and my delivery manifest. So if I click update status, that will push those on to the next status and automatically create. And I could have clicked on the print button there to do that, but it's going to push those on to the next status, which in this case is en route. So that's just kind of in summary the 7 different ways that you can create invoices. The first 4 of which we recommend you not do if you're shipping tangible items. And if you are shipping tangible items, you'll want to create the invoices from the sales order screen, or you'll want to create them in batches on the shipping and receiving screen to dispatch status. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I do hope you have a great day.